Hi everybody, I'm Susie Lordy. I'm the host of Recovery Recreation television program. I'm also the founder and president of a 501c3 nonprofit here in Massachusetts called 24 Hour Power Inc. We usually are doing recovery graffiti all over the state of Massachusetts. And what has happened is people would come up to us at events and say, Susie, there's nothing fun going on around here. Now, we know that's not true, but we also figured a lot of people might not know what's going on. So we decided to make it our mission to find out some really cool things to do when you're living a sober lifestyle. And there's plenty of them. So each month, we were bringing you up until this particular special Skype edition, okay? And we will go back to this format in the future. This is not going to be forever, okay? But what we usually bring to you are 2 stories of what's going on in different zip codes in the state of Massachusetts that are interesting and fun things for you to do. A lot of times they're free and they happen right here in your neighborhoods. So, but with the latest COVID-19 crisis that has pretty much put the world as we know it on shutdown, we know how difficult this is for not only us, people in recovery, but our families, our friends, and our communities. So what we decided to do is we created a special Skype edition of our 30-minute television broadcast. And it's going to focus on sober solutions to help all of us get through this incredibly trying time. You know, and there are a lot of things out there, and we're going to bring some hope to you. And the first one that we're going to talk to today, and we have an awesome lineup, so I think you'll be thrilled when you see who's going to be on saying hi to you and giving you some things to hold on to. Our first guest is Debi Cosgrove from the Greater Waltham Recovery Solutions team. And she's a force to be reckoned with and an awesome woman with a ton of sobriety. And she also has something else going on, but I'm going to let her tell you about that. First, let me start that conversation with her. We're thrilled that you joined us today, Deb, because so many people they're at a loss. They don't know what to do with the new state of affairs here. So
I know.
Let us know some things that you guys have going on up there.
We got on our page, Greater Waltham Recovery Solutions. We zoomed and people could watch it, and then they could ask us questions and we could answer them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we did it the other night. It came out really, really good. There were 6 of us from the team. A couple of our people were missing, but what we did is we basically we started to talk about acceptance. Not only acceptance for another day clean, but acceptance of what's going on in the world. There's nothing we can do to change it.
Right.
We're all trying to be very vigilant, and just hang in there, support each other. Our team, we support each other 100%. We're together all the time.
And you want to invite people to join you for your next meeting that you're going to have like that?
Right.
Can they request to be part of this with you?
They don't even have to request. All they have to do is go on Greater Waltham Recovery Solutions.
Yep.
Click on the video that's going to be running, and then they'll be right on watching us live. And then we ask people if they have any questions, and people type their questions in, and we answer their questions.
Wow, that's awesome. So they can do this from a phone. They can do this from a laptop. They can. Yeah, that's important.
Anything.
And what time are you having it at? Like, are you going to have a set time for this?
We usually have it on Sundays, and we call it Live at 5.
Live at 5 on Sundays, everybody.
Yeah. The reason the other night, because a lot of us haven't been able to get to meetings, we decided to have a recovery meeting just so because some people can't get out. I'm lucky I can get out of my house.
Yeah.
For us to stay sober, I belong to, from Waltham, it's almost a week old. It's Sober Strides, which is a walking team.
And that's awesome. What's that all about?
It's just, there was 2 girls, fairly new in recovery, having a really, really hard time. What are we going to do? There's no meetings. There's not this. They were really panicking. So somebody said, well, you guys should all just plan to get together. So they decided to do a walking club, and they invited some of us people from the area. And I'm big into walking anyway. So I said, absolutely, I will definitely be there. And the whole way walking, it was all about recovery.
Nice. So you're talking while you're doing it. It's not just a silent, everybody's got headphones on listening to music. You guys are having your own ambulatory meeting, if you will. Fellowship is so huge, and fresh air is so huge. I mean, those two together, they make a big difference in terms of how we're going to deal with all of this. This has been so awesome, and we're so grateful that you could join us and kickstart this brand new Skype episode. So, our prayers are there with you. Listen, peace out, and thank you again.
Okay, thank you, Susan.
And we're back. And now we're going to talk with a beautiful soul from Weymouth, Massachusetts. Very good friend of mine, Elizabeth Jaylin Mooney, who I love, who's larger than life in my book. She's the VP of Customer Relations for Mooney Tunes Merry Christmas from Heaven. And she's just an all-around awesome human being who has a lot of really cool solutions. In addition to offering, guess this, free online Reiki healing. So if you're going to do online meditation, right, online Reiki, how is it going to work? People are going to contact you? How are they going to get in touch with you? And
they can contact me on Facebook, or they can go to Merry Christmas from Heaven's Facebook page, and our phone number is on our page over there as well. Yeah. So they can definitely check out Merry Christmas from Heaven's Facebook page. My number's on there, or they can reach out to my personal Facebook page and we can set up an appointment. And it is free during all of this quarantine time.
And that's incredible. You've also been posting some amazing videos of your poetry every single day. And how do people know when that's coming on, or how do they access those, Elizabeth?
They can go. I'm going to be creating a poetry page soon this weekend. So that's my next thing I'm going to be doing, is setting up a Facebook page where it's just my poetry and videos, and then I'll have my personal page still. So be on the lookout. It's going to be called Elizabeth the Lyricist.
Elizabeth the Lyricist.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
What are some of the things that you stay active in that keeps you feeling sane?
Volunteer work is huge for me, and especially around the arts. Just being surrounded by like-minded individuals that are in recovery, that are wanting to better their lives through artwork and self-expression. So
absolutely. So now with this whole lockdown thing going on, are there going to be some websites where there might be some kind of like open mic where people can share things back and forth?
Well, there's a group called the Rec Shop Movement. They're out of Lynn. People can definitely check out their Facebook page. It's called WRECK Shop Movement. They're a bunch of amazing individuals that actually just got a grant where they're gathering local talent to live stream for people, and they're actually going to be able to pay them through this grant.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
Well, I better see you on that.
Oh yeah. Let's see what happens.
You, and I want to hear your sister sing.
Yeah, so definitely I want to give a shout out to my sister Jacqueline too.
Yeah.
She's going to be doing a few live events, singing events coming up, so definitely be on the lookout for Jacqueline Mooney on Facebook. And I do a whole lot of surrounding grief as well. With my father's poem, Merry Christmas from Heaven, we do a lot in the community and beyond, not just with recovery, but with anyone that's dealt with a death of a loved one. We're letting others know that love is how we stay alive even after you are gone.
Awesome. Elizabeth, my heart, you're awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. So, during this COVID-19 crazy time, we have a lot of young adults that are not going to know really what to do next. I mean, the parents don't even know what to do next, right? None of us really know what's coming down the pike. So there's a lot of uncertainty, there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of anxiety, and we really need to quell that, you know? So we're very lucky that on this special Skype edition of Recovery Recreation TV, we have Independence Academy's recovery counselor, Karin Burke-Lewis, who has been helping young adults and kids for almost 30 years, man. So if anybody can help us navigate how to calm them down a little bit, it's you, Karin.
All right. Yeah, that's a lot of weight on my shoulders there, Susie.
That's it, yeah. Bring it on.
Thank you so much.
Tell us all about you.
Sure. So thank you for having me on, and hello to everybody out there in the world of recovery and friends and families of people in recovery. So I am a social worker. I've been working with adolescents for close to 30 years, like you said, since 1991. You know, in this climate, it's really important for us to help sort of bring ourselves down. So part of our job at Independence Academy, and just in this climate, really, in helping our young adults, is helping them find alternative ways to quell those anxieties, whether they be related to this COVID-19 or just the general stuff that people bring to their lives. And again, I talked about some of those issues, as did you, whether it's trauma in my family, trauma in my community. I'm anxious because the schools are closed, and that's my resource center. That's where I get my food. That's where I get my, my loving, my metaphoric loving, right?
Well, and with young kids, like with adults that have substance abuse issues, we always say, don't stay in your own head too long. It's a dangerous neighborhood to go alone, right?
That's right.
Because our best thinking, sad to say, got us where we were.
Where you landed. Yep.
Right. So what we have to make sure of is that we don't isolate, even if physically we have to isolate.
Right.
Verbally, mentally, spiritually, we gotta connect, man.
Absolutely.
Because if we don't, it's gonna be it's God help us.
Yeah, we have to sort of represent and model for them what it looks like in this trying time where we're, as you say, having to physically isolate 6 feet or more.
Right.
That doesn't mean we're not allowed outside. That's, I think, the misnomer that's
right.
out. For example, with my own kids, we go on family walks every day. So we're out and about, right? We try and start with a healthy breakfast in the morning. It's about routines. And again, this is what we're telling our Independence Academy students as well. These are young people who are struggling with addiction themselves, trying to put themselves on a journey of recovery. That's what I do for a living, right? I work with these teenagers who are trying to make changes around their lives, their struggles with substances and mental health issues. So if I'm talking to my students, which I do every day or every other day, I'm texting.
And this is when the school's shut down.
This is while we're shut down. Oh yeah, and I'm not the only one. Susie, I'm not the only one. So we are doing virtual, just like you and I are Skyping right now.
Yeah.
We're doing Zoom calls. A lot of people are doing these Zoom calls, which are basically, they could be anybody meeting with other people. You can have as big a group as you want, as small a group as you want. We're doing Zoom calls now with the students every day. And we're doing Zoom calls as a staff every couple of days to check in with how we're doing and what are strategies we can use to support the students the best. And I think this is really applicable to the larger society and community. When people are isolating, I believe there are churches and synagogues and businesses and relatives. They're all doing these kinds of things like you're doing. Here's this thing that we are giving a hard time about, but it's actually the thing right now in this climate of having to isolate for medical necessity, that we're actually able to connect with the larger community and the people that we love and the people we care about. So I'm going to
give me the top 3 things that you could recommend to youth with a ton of energy, right?
Yes.
They're not old like me, so they have the energy.
Yes.
How do we get them to channel it into something positive that can chill them out?
Okay, here are my 3. Find something that you can do at home or in your community safely that you love and that you're passionate about. So whether it's scootering or skateboarding or riding your bike, listening to music, making beats, playing the guitar, playing the drums, learning a new craft. Again, in this world of technology, we can go on YouTube and learn how to do anything. I can take apart an engine. I can take apart my bike, put it back together. I can create something electronic. I can make a radio. I can. There's so many things I can do.
Keep that mind going, man.
Keep the mind going.
Yep.
2, continue to connect like you and I just talked about. And this is not rated in any particular order. These are the 3 things. Not, one is more important than the other, right? Continue to connect. Connect with your peers, connect with safe and supportive people, connect with people you love, connect with people who are important to you, who are going to pump you up. Because again, all these messages in our heads, especially those struggling and suffering, there's a lot of negative messages that we're buying. We're buying it. It's like buying it like the Brooklyn Bridge, right? Yeah. Do you think that's for sale? Look at some of these kids' heads. They're buying a lot of false news, false information, especially about themselves. So continue to connect with people. And I think thirdly, find your wellness routine. It doesn't have to be boxing. It doesn't have to be on the elliptical machine like me. Right. It's got to be something, whether it's a mindfulness practice, it's breathing, it's meditating, it's calming me down, it's bringing me down, it's bringing me up when I need to be brought up. It's finding ways to really get some of that stuff out.
You're awesome, Karin.
Thank you, Susie. I feel the same way about you.
I know, you're the best.
Wonderful work. You're doing wonderful work, and it's really just a pleasure to be able to be a part of this. I appreciate so much you giving me this platform to be able to talk to people and reach out. And we are continuing to connect. We connect with our students. We're connecting with communities that need people to connect with. I appreciate you so much letting me be a part of this.
Absolutely. We need you, Karin. We need more people like you. So thank you so much, and God bless. Cool. Peace out. We'll be talking soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Susie, so much. Bye now. Bye-bye.
And now we're going to talk to another very good friend of mine, Chris Mandeville. Chris and Tom Robinson founded together a podcast that has helped so many people in recovery. It's called Life on Life's Terms. And if you haven't turned into this yet, you absolutely have to. And with no further ado, Chris, so awesome having you here. Thank you so much for joining us for our special Skype edition of Recovery Recreation TV. So tell us about Life on Life's Terms.
So Life on Life's Terms podcast was a brainchild of Tom Robinson. He had thought about it and was like, there's got to be a way for people to listen to a meeting when they're not at one. We're just a couple of blue-collar guys. He's an iron worker. I work for DPW. But we wanted to be able to help people that couldn't get to meetings because he was finding it hard for himself to get to meetings. He had he's working this union job. So he had found some podcasts that he was listening to. So we figured out how to do it. So another obstacle was we needed a place where we could do it from. So I had approached a New Way Recovery Center in Quincy. I had to go to one of their community meetings, pitch the idea. They said it was awesome. They would love to help us out. And, that was in 2017, and here we are still going.
That's amazing.
We didn't think it would, we were doing it for ourselves, but at this time with what's going on, it's really helping a lot of people. I think we have 97 episodes, so you could potentially listen to 3 months worth of meetings, one a day at home. Either two. You can join our Facebook group. It's called the Life on Life's Terms Podcast. If you search it on Facebook, podcast is capitalized, all the letters. We're also on YouTube at the Life on Life's Terms Podcast. So what we do is we bring someone in recovery, someone who has been affected by alcoholism. We've had guests that have never used at all, but their whole entire life has been ruled by addiction. We've had people that work in treatment. We've had people that are, one woman that we had on was a psychologist for medically assisted treatment center, and she was a prescriber.
Wow.
This doesn't, the disease of addiction and alcoholism doesn't just affect us.
No. No, we're a tornado, man. And there are other pathways, and it's important that people know what's available to them, and what works for you may not work for someone else.
There's no monopoly on this.
So how are you keeping it together in your little household with everybody home? What's some good advice?
The advice that I got when I first got here, one day at a time.
Yeah, love it. Hey, listen, Chris, Kristen, Kenley, so awesome. We love you all. Thank you so much for doing such great things. Tell Tom thanks a lot for letting us bring this program on. And the world's a better place with people like you in it.
Oh, Susie, thank you.
Thanks. Peace out. See you soon. So next up, we have Christina Cardoza, who is the wife of the pastor Eric Cardoza from Life Quest Community Church. They used to be in Whitman, Mass. Now they're in East Bridgewater, Mass. Christina has some really important things to share with us about what are you doing with the kids right now?
Hi, yeah. We do have some really fun things that we want to share. We'll have lots of links and ideas that we upload onto our website. Because I have so many kids and because they range in age so much, we actually don't do an Easter egg hunt. I actually get a bunch of balloons and I'll blow up the balloons, and I'm talking like 50 of them, and I'll put coins or candy or whatever. I'll put it in there and I'll throw them all over the house, and they have to hunt for their specific balloons, and then they get to pop them and have their little prize and everything. And over the past couple days, because my older kids, they don't have any online schoolwork set up just yet, they've actually been going online and doing word search generators where they can make their own word searches, downloading a checkers app so they can play checkers with each other. There's stuff to be found online that's actually kind of entertaining also if you don't have a lot of stuff already kicking around the house.
Again, on behalf of Recovery Recreation, and know that we love you and we appreciate you.
Oh, we love you too. Thanks, Susie.
Okay, bye. So now we're going to speak with a person in long-term recovery that knows exactly what this is like while we're all on, lockdown isolation mode. And his name is Shawn K. Shawn, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, how are you, Susie?
I'm doing great, thanks. And you? Well, as good as can be expected.
Understood.
Thrilled to have this opportunity and thrilled to hear that you can actually show us how we can get connected online.
Absolutely. I appreciate you giving me a chance. And, since we talked last, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So there's been a very sort of grassroots movement that's been happening right now to be able to sort of transition from recovery meetings that are usually face-to-face to an online environment. And there's been technology-wise, one tool that we've been using that has really worked really well. So it's covering a lot of things that you would want in order for, number one, obviously staying connected is very important for people in recovery. By nature of what's going on with the virus and, shelter in place and stay home and quarantine or whatever you want to call it, we're isolated, right? And so what was the tool of people to connect with people in their respective recovery groups isn't there. And so what we're finding is that this tool is very good at connecting. People are seeing familiar faces. It's offering folks that are sort of new to recovery a chance to connect and not feel like they're not alone, and sort of supplement, what would be phone calls and such. And it's really, it's been evolving on a day-to-day basis. And we set up a Facebook site that we've been using as a central location to post these links to these online meetings and to schedule times where folks would usually go to meetings. It doesn't cost you any money to participate in these meetings. Someone can send a link via text or via email, or a link can be posted on social media. A person can hit on the link, they'll be taken to the meeting room, and it looks like the Brady Bunch. So everybody in the room, you can see their picture and you can talk.
Oh, that's cool.
It's super cool, yeah. And when you do it the first time, it'll ask you for an email.
Okay.
And that's really it.
Oh, great.
We get people on, we open up the meetings 15 minutes beforehand. People come on for the first time. We give them a few hints to what to do and what to press, and then they're fine to go going forward. So all you need to get into the meetings is a link.
Okay.
And whether you have a link via text from somebody, an email, or you just don't know anybody at all and are looking for a meeting, if you search a Google search, for example,
Okay.
find that. You can edit your name so your name isn't there. You can go by an alias if you don't want to.
Okay.
If you really, if you don't want to show your face, even though no one knows you, you can mute your video and just listen. You can actually, there's in the link, you can call in via telephone and listen. Meetings can't go into the treatment centers now.
No.
We're in the process of setting up meetings that go directly into the folks as they get quarantined.
Wow.
The patients in their room.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so to your point, they can listen and identify.
Sure.
And then through that, when they get out, because in my experience, it's very important when you get out of treatment, one of the first things they'll tell you is get to a meeting, right?
Absolutely.
And so without a place to go,
You're bringing it to them.
Yeah, and we're giving them links and options. So we can say, hey, go to this Facebook group, and you'll have everything that you need.
Shawn, I've got to tell you, I am so glad to meet you. And this is the first time we have met face to face, which is really cool. And this is a big shout out to Kurt from the Anchor. Thank you, Kurt, because Kurt recommended you.
No, it's great to meet you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to help spread the message a little bit, and good luck with everything. And tell your friends that there's a lot of hope out there. So
there we go. That's what it's all about. Thank you, Shawn.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.
And that, my friends, is a wrap for this edition of Recovery Recreation TV. And thank you for allowing us to bring you this Skype version. It's not our normal set. We're not dealing with normal times, but this is the new normal, and we'll do it for as long as we need to. And thank you, Lisa Breeden from WRPS, for allowing us to tape this in your lovely home. And Keith Mize for the awesome artwork in back of us. Joshua Chisholm for more awesome artwork coming this way, and just the beauty of technology, and our awesome guests that came together to offer everybody a little bit of hope, a little bit of healing, a little bit of we can get through this together. We have the tools. We just, we're not fans of change, let's face it, but guess what? As they say in my fellowship anyways, acceptance is the key to all my problems. But to accept something doesn't mean you have to like it, you just got to accept it. So, here we go. Don't think you can't have fun in sobriety, you just haven't hung out with us yet. And that's it, that's a wrap for this edition of Recovery Recreation. I'm your host, Susie Lordy. Stay safe, see you next time. Peace out.